Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Master of Orion Conquer the Stars in our Trilarian Trickery series. So, surprise, for those of you watching the series live, I know you probably saw a channel announcement this morning, or maybe you didn't, saying that there would be no content at 12 or 6 today because of some recording issues. I got a spare half hour to record, which actually is beginning right now, and I said, well, why don't I go ahead and take care of the 6 p.m. slot at least, so that there's something on the channel, because if there's one series that people are really watching and coming in fresh for right now, it's Trilarian Trickery. So I want to do my best not to let you guys down. Let's see what we can do here. I've got a deficit and a few other things to talk about. Also, a bit of a disclaimer, since I have recorded this episode already, I might occasionally comment on things that maybe go differently from my original recording. That's really just for my sake, to keep it interesting, since I'm doing things I've already done, and I hope that's understandable. So I'm going to set up trade goods on a few planets that are mostly built up. As you can see, it's not really helping my deficit that much. So another thing I'm going to do to help the deficit is go ahead and bump up taxes. That will reduce the amount of morale on planets, and so I'll have more population striking, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, it'll help. But there's something else that I can do. To quote my good friend Gray, I'm no longer an asshole, and I've remembered that the espionage button exists. So what happened with me is, I know I mentioned in the first episode that the espionage system has been changed and it works differently, and you can now train spies on planets. And Hadrian just got it in his head. Did I just talk about myself in the third person? Really? I just got it in my head that at some point during the series, I would gain the ability to train spies. Oh, we have a starvation problem on Ursulus. Let's fix that. There we go. I would get it that I would have the ability to train spies on my planets. And because that wasn't happening, I wasn't doing it, and I also wasn't thinking about it, because that's just how hardly encoded, if I can say that, the expectation was. But what you really need to do, as someone pointed out, and thank you for this, is go to the espionage screen. Haha! Look at this whole new thing that you haven't seen for this whole series. So we can train agents for 25 gold, which, since we've raised taxes, we're going to go ahead and do, and that's going to take 8 turns to train. But we can also, you know those captured spies where I was like, I wonder what capturing means? This is what it means. You can ransom them off.
Welcome back, stranger.
What would you offer me for Bravo? 58 credits?
I welcome every chance for cooperation.
So do I. Is it just me? Go back and listen to that music that you're hearing. I hear this flute in the background, and it reminds me a little bit of Lord of the Rings every time. And I know music does this. Once you've been alive long enough, you're going to hear music that reminds you of another piece of music. But it just, I always hear the Hobbit, or the Shire theme when I'm on the screen with the Cylon diplomat. Listen for it. You'll hear it. I actually just heard it while I wasn't talking, so go back just now and listen to it. Anyway, what would you offer me for Alpha? Okay, less credit payment, but an annual tribute. That's what he did last time.
Goodbye, and have a nice solar period.
Okay, so that's that. Now, we still have a deficit, but we made up a little bit of money there, which is nice. Part of the reason we have a deficit, well, there's 2 big reasons. First of all, we have a command point deficit, so we need to build some new star bases, and that is actually underway here at Palladia 2, and that'll cure the problem temporarily. We have some more cruisers incoming. We have a colony ship being built on Trilar, which is going to help us colonize Vigare. And also, in general, you're going to see me start in this episode just pumping out a lot of colony ships and trying to colonize more of the planets nearby. Just because I've got some other colonizable worlds in the system, especially now that I have access to gravity generator tech and the low gravity worlds, like, for instance, this one here, I believe, is low gravity. Yep, low gravity. Imarn Prime is one example, but also a number of planets in this system. Ursulus Prime is high gravity, but is otherwise a very nice planet. Ursulus 5 is high gravity, but is otherwise still a decent planet that we can terraform up to be better for us. So I need to colonize more of the planets in my system, because otherwise the AI is going to run away with this game. So yeah, there's a credit, or there's a command point deficit, but there's also the research buildings that I've been building. Turns out, this is just a note for anyone that's newer to Master of Orion. Pay close attention, because I was not paying attention to the cost of these buildings. Look at this. Moon Labs are 4 maintenance. Now check this out. The Advanced Data Center, the other advanced research building that I've been focusing on building on all of my planets. Look at that. 3 maintenance. So you get a nice research boost, and that's great, but it kills your budget. So anyway, let's go to the next turn. And by the way, speaking of commenters, one other thing. Oh, cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and set up a non-aggression pact. We're right next door to them, so anything we can do to guarantee that they don't try to pull any shenanigans would be good. Speaking of commenters, I did have one person request, and I appreciate this request because it's good to be called down every once in a while. I try to play Master of Orion pretty quickly because I've played a number of series on a more instructional level, but I realize that sometimes when I research a new technology, particularly when there's been a new patch, you kind of want me to stop and look at, okay, what are you choosing to research? What did you just finish researching? What does it get for you? What's your plan? So I'm going to make a bit of an effort to, well, do that and give a bit more detail on what research is being completed and when and what, like how the strategy and the story of the game is progressing based on those things. So I appreciate that feedback because I thought that was a very good point. So all right, we got one fleet left. Threatening fleet detected. Really? Where? Oh, it's just a freaking space monster. I don't care about the space monster. I'm going to kill him soon. Actually, I think, as soon as this colony ship can be a little bit closer to Vigare, I think we are actually able... Yep, we can take on the space monster. So we're going to do that. Let me go ahead and move this fleet in range. Oh, there's something else. Of course. Let me go ahead and fly this space factory back to this gas giant, because I mentioned in the first episode there'd be some noobish moments with me, and this was one of them. It's not really a noobish moment so much as it's a rusty moment. It's not a new feature, but I just forgot. I haven't been playing a lot of Master of Orion. You can build... gas giants are not useless. You can build mines on gas giants, and that'll help with my deficit as well. And hey, the deficit just went away. That's nice. All right, so let's see what we've finished.
Untold secret has been retrieved from the depths of the abyss.
Okay, so our beam weapons are now 10% smaller and 10% cheaper, which is nice, as far as, how long they take to build ships with build weapons. Ion drives, again, I like to go for these technologies faster than a lot of players just because it's nice to have faster ships. And then fusion beam modifications. This unlocks the heavy mount, enveloping, continuous fire, and auto-fire weapon modifications for the fusion beam, if we wanted to do that. Now, let's go ahead and upgrade all of our blueprints. That's done.
Greetings, Stinger. What secret shall...
So, next technology, we have a lot of choices. I'm going to go ahead and go for macroeconomics because I want to move toward galactic trading. We're going to need 2 technologies before we get to galactic trading, but galactic trading has access to the spaceport. And again, I'm just trying to think in terms of any buildings that I can set up on planets that have positive credit bonuses and +5 credits for every spaceport, particularly since I'm about to set up multiple new colonies in the systems I already have, is going to be useful. So let's go for macroeconomics. We are going to get the recyclotron out of the deal as well. So the geosynchronous warehouse, which is a building that reduces upgrade costs for... Oh wait, no, it's not upgrade costs. What is it? The completion of a geosynchronous... I never build these, so I literally don't know. Reduces the amount of time it takes to import both constructed and raw materials. Reduces credit. Yeah, okay, not upgrade costs, but buyout costs. So you could build a warehouse in orbit. That actually... Reading that actually seems pretty useful. Why don't I build those more? They do have a high maintenance cost, but it reduces the buyout cost. It makes it cheaper to just outright buy ships, or maybe you let a ship build through turn-based production for 4 or 5 turns, and then voila, you are able to buy the ship for a much cheaper cost, which is awesome. So, oh cool, let's go ahead and get all those upgrades taken care of. And the colony ship on Trilar Prime is now 2 turns away from being completed. Okay. We're going to progress through a few turns here. I'm glad our deficit is actually gone. This, I will say, I handled this a little bit differently than I did in the pre-recording. Oh no! This I've seen before.
Should take heed, as the Klakon Hive has taken over another planet.
It's a race to the top for sentient beings across the galaxy.
Okay, so the Klakon Hive now controls 8 planets. Okay, we have a new leader. This is new. This is totally new to me. Alceste is a model graduate of the premier Trilarian Military Academy, a well-rounded navigator, combatant, and pilot. While he may not excel at any one particular path, Alceste makes an excellent asset to any campaign. That looks like... Look at these bonuses. Holy crap. I'm going to hire this person. It's going to put me back in a deficit, but the deficit is about to be fixed. So let's assign you to... Let's assign you to a cruiser. Yeah, let's put you on this cruiser right here. It's going to take 4 turns, which is perfect, because it's going to take that long for the colony ship to get to the border here so we can colonize Vigare. Okay, we're going to capture this Klakon spy, and guess what we're going to do?
We greet you.
What would you offer us for this? Okay, additional annual tribute. It's actually not that great of a payment, I feel like, but whatever. So, all right, now we can choose production again. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and just start building another colony ship. I feel like that's the right thing to do. This colony ship needs to head... Whoa. Weird zooming. All right, Space Factory is 4 jumps away from the gas giant. Your empire has a deficit. Thank you. I had never noticed before this point. Appreciate that, game. Actually, our deficit did grow. How many turns away are we from... We're 3 turns away from a starbase. I'm going to try and ride it out, because we're about to grow on Palladia 2. We're about to get another population, which I can put into production. Yeah, now it's going to take 2 turns, but it would take 2 turns regardless. Oh, it's weird. It didn't grow. It was supposed to grow in 1 turn, and it didn't. That's kind of annoying. Spy Alpha, recruited at Trilarian. Alright, so now we can have him... Oh, this is really cool. I saw this last episode, but this is... Or, not last episode, but the one that I recorded. But this is... I'm reading back over it. So, this is the first step. We can infiltrate just a general empire. And I want to infiltrate the Alkari. Because, and I'll tell you why, they haven't done it in this episode yet, but they colonized Monius. So I know the AI is at least thinking about it, and they're actually... We've got the clack on over here, but they're actually expanding toward us pretty rapidly, even more rapidly than the Meklar are doing. And speaking of that, check this out. Remember Terracus 2? Which in the first or second episode, I was like, man, I don't know if we're going to be able to get to that planet and colonize it, but that would be a great planet to have. Well, guess what? They haven't colonized it yet. So I might even be kind of moving in that direction in the next episode or 2. It would piss the Meklar off, but... captured an Alkari spy. And a leader has leveled up. Let's go for faster research. Confirm. Now, are you... What's the deal here? Okay, I don't quite have enough money to buy the starbase, so we're going to have a deficit issue for a bit. And there's nothing I can really do to stop it. I mean, I could turn up taxes to a ridiculous amount for 1 turn and then crank them back down. That's what I'm going to have to do. My population's going to hate me. But that'll work. Okay, we're going to be ready to take on Vigare. Or not Vigare, we're going to colonize Vigare, but we're going to take on this space squid. Okay, so notice we have a much better income now because our command point deficit is gone, therefore our credit deficit is gone, and we are going to crank taxes all the way back down to 3. Again, that reduces our budget surplus, but it's going to continue to grow. You'll see.
An untold secret.
Okay, so we got the geosynchronous warehouse and the recyclotron. Now, the next question is, what do I want after that? Orbital batteries might be a good idea to go ahead and have set up, as well as modify proton torpedo modifications. So this unlocks enveloping, fast overloaded, and semi-guided modifications for proton torpedoes. So just different ways to customize the weapons that you have. Advanced construction could build survival pods. This is kind of a cool new tech that allows leaders to escape safely from exploding ships. Leaders can go into battles without the risk of dying under enemy attacks, which is kind of nice. I have a lot of leaders in my fleet, so I'm kind of tempted to research that. But, what else? What other options do we have here? Tachyon physics, scanner range, battle scanner, tachyon... Oh yeah, let's go for this. Tachyon physics has tachyon communications, which is a command point bonus that we could really benefit from. And then we'll go for xenology and then galactic trading, because those starports are just beautiful. Pirate fleet detected, huh? Can I not click on you? Oh, I have to click on that. Alright, so same pirate base that's been bugging us for a while. Alright, so... yeah, you'll be... Oh, they did move. Damn. I could have started the mine that turn. Evrard, let's give this leader... This is, there's no way of seeing where the leader is, which is unfortunate. Improve security here, that's fine. Now you need to build... Aha! A gas harvester, which will give us an additional 5 credits. So let's take a look at our leaders. Where are these people? Everard, you are on Ursulus 4, and Aria is on Palladia Prime. Okay. So, better food on Ursulus 4, and better security on Aria Prime. Or, not Aria Prime, but Palladia Prime. Good to know. Alright, so this colony ship has arrived. Let's go ahead and jump these attack ships in. We'll jump the colony ship in too, so it's one jump away. And we can take care of this space monster in one fell swoop. Let's do this.
And now, the news.
Oh, there's no music. What's going on here?
And now, the state of the galaxy. Current leaders of advanced technology.
Alright, so we're leading the technology game, which is nice. Oh no, this colony ship got it in its head that it was part of a separate... Alright, so what we're going to have to do... I'm going to have to select a bunch of units individually here. There we go. The units joined up just automatically. And now we're going to attack. Let me make sure I don't have my colony ship. Okay, good. We're going to attack the space monster. We're going to take command because we want to actually watch this happen. Get to see our cruisers in action for the first time. Now, we have a leader on one of these cruisers, and a leader on one of the frigates, so this could be dangerous. Go. Okay, so they immediately going to start strafing, which is what they did last time. It's looking like the battle is going to go similarly to the episode that I already recorded, which means something terrible is about to happen. Point defense will take those out. But then those... Yep. Okay, our leadership has been destroyed, so we did lose... Crap! That was, just by sheer bad luck, that ship was the one that improved leader we just got was on board. That did not happen in the pre-recorded episode. So that's a little unfortunate. But I've got Vigare 2 now, so that's a bit of a win. So in the future, we'll be able to build escape pods for leaders to where that doesn't affect them, which is nice. But for now, we lost that leader. Sad day. I knew that was a risk, but I mean, what can you do? So let's go ahead and let's queue up our standard build order here. Hydroponic farm, biospheres, research lab, colonial revenue service. It's going to take a while for this colony to build up. Now, the nice thing about losing a cruiser is we're not as far away from our command point cap. So we have another colony ship that's just been completed. Tell you what, just build another one. We need a bunch of colony ships. All right, so what would be the next best colony ship? I think we can actually look at planets and get a sense for which might be the best. What about distance? Enarl is not... Why is it saying Enarl is so close? Oh, okay, it wasn't sorted properly. My bad. It was sorted the opposite direction. That did not make any sense to me. So it's sorted opposite direction to what you'd expect first. Let's see. Actually, I guess it didn't. It sorted with the largest values first, which is standard, but you're thinking about distance here, so we want close. Ursulus 3 is a good world, but it's volcanic, so I think Ursulus Prime is high gravity. Ursulus 5 is high gravity. Yeah, Ursulus Prime probably needs to be the next one we colonize. It's going to take some effort to get that gravity generator set up and ready to go, but once it is, high gravity will no longer be a threat. And it's actually going to be a pretty nice world, all things considered. And I'm not sure how it works, but the Trilarians have that ability to convert planets into ocean planets, so we might be able to change that desert world into an ocean world. We'll see.
Consider this, Stinger.
Okay, check this out. We're going to go with Tachyon Communications, which is going to give us +2 command points, as opposed to these other upgrades, improved scanner ranges, improved energy weapon accuracy. But watch what's going to happen. Get a nice little boost there to our command points. We can build more military ships without worrying about incurring another deficit.
Greetings, Stinger.
Now we are going to go for xenology this time. Xenology is going to give us alien psychology, so improved deal making with aliens, as well as the alien management center. So if we ever colonized an alien world, or I should say, if we ever conquered an alien world and left the alien citizens in place, this actually makes it easier to assimilate those populations into our empire, which is kind of cool. All right, so now we're going to send, let's see, who's the biggest threat? Yeah, we're going to send the space factory here. We just need to start building. This is one of the reasons we needed more command points. We're going to start building new battle stations at the jump points here so that Vigere is sealed off. Colony ship has arrived at Ursulus Prime. Very good. So let's go ahead and colonize. We have seen that animation, so I'll go ahead and skip it. And now let's go ahead and queue up our normal list. It's going to take a while because this is a high-gravity world for this stuff to build. We could go ahead and set up the gravity generators. We need 1,024, though. So it's going to take a while. It doesn't really matter. It's not doing anything right now. The planet's, there's no one in production, so we're waiting for the planet to grow, which is going to take 49 turns at the current rate. We could use a civil transport to fix that. Let's see. We can go ahead and we've got some planets that are still in trade goods. I can go ahead and switch that away. Tell you what, let's do a civil transport. Let's do that. That's a way to get a colony member from Ursulus 4 over to Ursulus Prime. And Palladia Prime is also doing trade goods, so let's go ahead and stop that. And let's do a colony ship. Need to crank out these colony ships as rapidly as possible. Palladia 2. You're an ocean world. Pollution has not been an issue so far in this series. It's interesting. Let's go ahead and screw it. Let's do another colony ship. So we've got 3 different colony ships training at once. Lots of new colonies coming soon.
The Combine wishes to initiate.
Okay. So the Meklar just proposed open borders.
Suboptimal.
So that reduced our relationship with them a lot. Okay, and we just captured a Meklar spy. So let's go ahead and pay a visit to the negotiation table. Oh, yes. I forgot we'd already captured that Alkari spy as well. So we have to negotiate for a few people.
What is your query?
What would you offer for this? Nice. 104 credits. I will take it. Hopefully we'll get a similar windfall from...
The blessings of the sky. A fair
That's not bad. That's a high annual tribute and credit payment compared to some of the other ones we've gotten.
It would be my honor. May the wind carry you to paradise.
Now, another thing I need to do, since I have money again, let's go ahead and train another spy. I want to do that. But another thing I need to do is open up the diplomacy screen and see if I can reestablish some of those trade deals.
Recording specifications.
Okay, so they don't actually have enough money.
Welcome back.
Neither do the Cylon.
Intently.
There's that Lord of the Rings music again. Okay, trade treaty with the Alkari. Propose.
As you wish.
Good, and I think that's probably all we have money for this turn. But that'll be a good way to help build up, especially towards building a gravity generator on Ursulus Prime. Sooner than later. See, there we go. The Alkari have colonized Monius 2. Colony ship 4 completed at Trilar Prime. Alright, so where are we going to send you now? Ursulus 5 is also a pretty nice world. We could go ahead and colonize that one. I feel like that's probably the right move to make. Let's go ahead and do that. Because it'll have the most possible turns. The colony ship is going to take 2 turns to get there, but then I'll have the most time for that planet to build up after that fact. And I can build a second civilian transport here as well. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do a civil transport. Let's go ahead and put one more person in research there. And then you are going to fly here, unload, and now we actually have production happening, which is nice. Tell you what, let's flip this around and let the automated factory go first, just because the gravity generators have so many turns to work on. Maybe having a little bit more production would help bring that solution around a little faster. Another colony ship? It's tempting. It's really tempting. Now let's go ahead and do it. On account of all these new colony ships, the size of my homeworld colony, my homeworld is population is getting close to some of these other planets that we've established. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, ideally, it's good to have all of your worlds around the same size and then growing together. It's because then you don't have any like weak points or strong points. But at the same time, you know, if you lost a particularly weak planet, you don't have to worry about it as much. Your agreement to pay annual tribute to the Meklar has expired. Very good. Diplomacy. I bet I can establish a trade treaty with someone else now.
Welcome back,
Okay, not with the Cylons just yet. What about with the Klakon? No? What about with the... I really wish there was an option just to switch from... Yeah, okay. Alright, so no other trade treaties just yet. I wish there was an option just to switch from ambassador screen to ambassador screen. Our xenology research has been completed. Oh, that's right, this was a choice. This wasn't both. So let's go ahead and go for just alien psychology. So we just have better negotiation with them in general. It's been a fairly diplomatic series so far. We're going to go for galactic trading. We're going to get the spaceport, and also we're going to have access to the advanced space factory. So that'll be nice to have. We need those to build more advanced station types. So, speaking of that, it's going to be 7 turns until that one's done. We need to go ahead and colonize this world. We could have last turn. I missed the notification at the last second. Ursulus 5. Said Ursulus Prime for a minute there, but then self-corrected. So a bit more hostile of an environment than we've colonized in the past. But we're going to turn that around. This is a toxic world right now, but with some terraforming and some work, we can make this a much more productive planet for us. All right, let's go ahead and get gravity generators going here. Same thing, let's go for the automated factory first. Because thankfully there's enough food on this planet to where we don't need a population in food. Actually, it's because it's a toxic world, no food can grow on this planet. But oddly enough, this pop is not dying. Which is weird, but that's the way it is. So let's go ahead and get... I've said that, and maybe he'll start dying next turn. Who knows how this will go? We'll see. Research lab. Okay, there's that. Ursulus 4. Huh. Colony ship? Let's do one more colony ship, and I feel like that'd be enough. Yeah, let's go ahead and get... Okay, now there is a population in danger of dying. Damn, I didn't think about that. Crap! So, 1 population can survive on this planet, 2 can't. Oh, that's annoying. Alright, so what if I put the hydroponic farm first? Okay, I might be able to save this colonist. Perhaps. Hang on. Can I, if I scrap this scout, do I get money? Yeah, I get 4 credits. Okay, I think I might be able to save this colonist. Hang on. Cross fingers. Done! 2 turns until he starves, but the hydroponic farm will be done next turn. Alright, Trilar Prime just grew. Still a 10 population colony, not bad, but again, we're about to build a colony ship. So it's going to shrink by 1 pop. Okay, so current objectives. We're at about the 29-minute mark here, so I want to go ahead and cut this one in a moment. But Vagaire has some other planets we can colonize. Vagaire 3 actually is a medium swamp planet. It's poor mineral classification, but has normal gravity and room for 12 population. Vagaire Prime, high gravity, but has gems, is radiated, but that can be fixed. Same as with Main Prime once we take out the colony base. We could even colonize Main 2. And then, of course, if we have the ability to reach Terracus, we actually could bring in a substantial amount of new colonies and have a nice little corner of the galaxy carved out for us here. We might have to go toe-to-toe with the Meklar once we colonize right next to them, if that's how it happens. But I think we'll be prepared to do that by that point, and then maybe we might even control their systems and have a nice little corner of the galaxy. Whether we win by domination or win by science or diplomacy, we'll see. All the options are turned on, so I'm open to anything, but I will go ahead and cut this one here. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe to follow along. New science fiction, survival, and or simulation videos air daily at 6 Eastern Time, and comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next video.